Hello, everyone. This is the basics of CPC Funding 101, brought to you by the Student Organization Advisory Board. So, what are CPC funds? Club programming funds are given to eligible RSOs to help them put on events. When RSOs are able to host events, it drives more people to get involved on campus and in their community.
Is my organization eligible? To apply for CPC funds, your organization must be in good standing. Your organization must have an active bank account and have access to the bank account. This means one officer from your organization must attend one officer orientation and does not have any outstanding balances from previous funding. If you have any questions regarding if your RSO is in good standing or on probation, please contact your RSO consultant. General CPC process. First, you complete the budget request and engage under the process for club programming committee. Then you wait for an award email from a CPC accountant. Then you request the check after the date listed. You host the event, and then you complete the event evaluation and submit checks on Engage.
So, if you're wondering when and how you apply given the different rounds, which have different deadlines, and be sure to plan ahead and submit your request in time for the committee to allocate funds and request the check. Approximate annual deadlines are mid-April for first round fall, mid-September for second round fall, mid-November for first round spring, and mid-January for second round spring. So what can CPC funds not be used for?
Budget line items guaranteed to be denied by the CPC committee. So if these are listed at all in your budget requests, these will not be added to your total. Gift cards, scholarships, programming, t-shirts, costumes, jerseys. It's really anything that benefits a singular person and not like a group of people. Any alcohol, tobacco, fireworks, events designated to promote the success or defeat of a political candidate, and any travel.
Additional budget items that are usually denied are other marketing items, because these are not considered essential to host events, and CPC funding is used to assist groups in just being able to host their event. And these items are usually denied due to low availability or high demands, frequency of request, or inability for funds of our RSOs. And then additionally, we cannot fund any events held off campus, any general body meetings, and this is because we have over 400 active RSOs on campus. So it would not be fair just to host or fund for general body meetings. And then additionally, events that are not open to the entire student population.
Some general guidelines that we have are the general allocation amounts. So what we call nooners, especially on the health science campus, they happen usually between 12 to 1, and then the funding allocated for these is $150. And it's a session, curriculum focused session. Then we have food for events. In the past, it's typically around $10 per head, but this is not set in stone. And it's very important to accurately estimate your anticipated attendance on the budget request. For events where the food being provided is essential, it's related to the programming, the $10 per head rule is generally still being used.
Okay, so going over how you can complete a budget request form. So this is going to be through Engaged, and to access budgeting request, it is normally the president or financial officer of the organization, and they will have access to the manager view of their organization. And then once you do so, it opens up the organizational tool drawer, and then you select Finance. Additionally, okay, there it is, Finance. And then additionally, to submit a budget request, once you have access to your organization finance page, click the Create New Budget Request dropdown, followed by Create Budget Request. And then, as I said prior, this will only be listed for the president and financial officer in doing so. Okay, the next step is to click on the CPC funding budget option. Enter the name of the event in the description, then click Next. And then click on the application round you are applying for and answer the following questions. And then on the last section, there is a spreadsheet to break down what the funds would be going towards specifically, whether it's the venue, the entertainment, the food. And this is an extremely important step, as the committee may adjust your funds amount based on this budget breakdown. And then lastly, scroll through the budget sections to list for items that you are requesting the funds for. And list how the funds will be used and how much you are requesting. If you have a room confirmation and/or invoice that lists the cost, you can also upload that as well. Just a tidbit to list your items separately. And then at the top of the page, it will keep a running total of your submissions. And finally, when you are finished, click Submit. And under the Finance tab, click again on Budget, and you can view the status of your submission. As stated before, in some cases, the CPC committee may readjust your requested total. The reviewer adjusted total is the amount of the funds you will be receiving.
So for the award notification, you will get an award email after the CPC deliberation. Award emails are usually distributed to those RSOs that have received any CPC funding for their events, and this is usually what it would look like. You might get a denial email, and this also happens after the CPC deliberation, and it's distributed to those RSOs that did not receive any CPC funding. And this is what a denial email looks like. So for award notification, it is essential that one individual must submit all budget requests so that the same individual is notified when you do get an award. We run into numerous issues when there are different names with different events attached to the same RSO, and sometimes it gets lost in the emails. So try to keep it under one individual.
Okay, here are some tips for requesting your CPC funds. And these are things that can typically hold up your payment and the whole process. Is that it must be approved through the CPC application process. The organization name has to match the vendor number name. Please no acronyms or short names unless that is the way it is set up on the vendor number. And then additionally, do not put University of Louisville in front of your name. And also the address on the award agreement must correspond with the address assigned to your vendor number. If your address has been changed, please contact Accounts Payable. Additionally, the name of the event must match the one that was on the CPC application. And the amount, this is the one that needs to be approved. And then check your Finance tab in your portal under Budget Request to find the adjusted amount.
So the check request summary. So we need to have the name of the event, the personal name on the budget request, address, email, just the one individual from your RSO handling the CPC. We need the time, so we need you to fill out the CPC award agreement as soon as you are notified about your award. This is because it takes about 2 to 4 weeks for a check to pay out. Waiting until right before your event is held to request the check will ensure that the money is not delivered on time, so please give us some time to get the check to you. We need the accuracy to make sure that the award agreement has the accurate information and the bank information for the check. To request a check, you just have to sign in on Engaged and go to the RSO Finances. Once you're on the RSO Finance page, locate the section of Forms and select the CPC Award Agreement form. Be sure to read the blue section detailing the criteria and make sure you have everything available. Fill out the form, agree to various statements, and submit.
So next step to this process is your post-event evaluation, and this is after you received the funding and your event has taken place. So at the conclusion of your event, your RSO must submit a CPC event evaluation, and this is not just for this year, but however, every academic year. Receipts for all purchases made using the CPC funds must also be submitted. This is to ensure that the funds went towards the purchases specified in the budget request. Failure to submit receipts will result in no longer being able to apply for CPC funds. For funds that were not used, however, even though if they were allocated, they must be returned to the CPC committee. A check for the unused amount should be mailed to the SAC and be made out to the University of Louisville. And below you can find the SAC address. Additionally, failure to return funds will result in the RSO being placed on probation. So please use all of your allocated funding for your event, and then you won't have to worry about returning them.
All right, so these are all of our contacts. Then you can email any one of these to get information if you have any questions. So please reach out to the financial director, CPC accountant, or the unit business manager for any questions.